Welcome to Eagle News. Hello, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Evan.
We're so glad you could join us today. In today's episode, we will report about Eversole Run Middle School news, national news, Ohio news, teacher focus, science news, riddles, technology news, and much, much more.
In Eversole news, congratulations to our Power of the Pen team for qualifying for the regional tournament. Our 7th grade team finished first, and our 8th grade team finished second in their last tournament. The regional tournament will be held at Davis Middle School on Saturday, March 11th. We would also like to congratulate our Math Counts team. We had 2 students that placed in the top 5 out of 300 students for individual scores, and for the team round, ERMS finished 8th out of 32 schools. The next competition will take place on March 11th at Columbus State Community College. Congratulations to both teams on a job well done.
In world news, last year was the 6th hottest year on record. This is according to a new National Aeronautics and Space Administration (NASA) study. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration (NOAA) also ran its own study. NOAA focuses on understanding and protecting ocean resources. It is also focused on studying the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a blanket of gases that surrounds Earth. Both NOAA and NASA have been tracking global temperatures for decades. Their studies show that the year 2022 is part of a trend. The last 8 years have been the hottest on record. The new information can seem scary, but this is significant change in the climate of Earth over a long period of time. It can happen naturally. It can also happen in response to human activities. Scientists hope to use this new information to help lessen the impact of climate change. Many governments around the world are working together to stop global warming.
On this date in history, in 1879, sculptor Frederick Bartholdi is awarded a patent for his design of the Statue of Liberty.
In National Day calendar news, today is National Battery Day and National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day.
In language arts news, what is free verse? Free verse is a literary device that can be defined as poetry that is free from limitations of regular meter or rhythm and does not rhyme with fixed forms. Such poems are without rhyme, rhythm, and rhyme schemes, do not follow regular rhyme scheme rules, yet still provide artistic expression. In this way, a poet can give his own shape to a poem however he or she desires.
In Eagle sports news, we had great weather last week at the Nest as we kicked off our first week of spring sports. We concluded basketball tryouts and had our first week of practice for track and field, boys lacrosse, and girls lacrosse. Our Eagles are already working hard to represent the school on the track, field, and diamond this spring. Good luck.
I'm Evan, and this is this weekend's weather. On Friday, we have a high of 58, a low of 34, and a 100% chance of rain.
On Saturday, we have a high of 54, a low of 29, and a 10% chance of rain. And on Sunday, we have a 49 high, 29 low, and a 10% chance of rain. That's this weekend's weather. Have a great week.
In science news, what is the water cycle? The water cycle shows the continuous movement of water within the Earth and atmosphere. It is a complex system that includes many different processes. Liquid water evaporates into water vapor, condenses to form clouds, and precipitates back to Earth in the form of rain and snow. Water in different phases moves through the atmosphere, transportation. Liquid water flows across land, runoff, into the ground, infiltration, and through the ground. The water cycle impacts ecosystem, economies, and our daily life.
In math news, what are scatter plots? A scatter plot uses dots to represent values for 2 different numeric variables. The position of each dot in the horizontal and vertical axis indicates values for an individual data point. Scatter plots are used to observe relationships between variables. In these cases, we want to know if we are given a particular horizontal value, what a good prediction would be for a vertical value.
In social studies news, what was the Cold War? After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union were the superpowers of the world. They became rivals as they each sought to prevent the other from gaining too much power. The period of tension that existed between them came to be known as the Cold War. Although the conflict did not result in actual war between the two countries, it did lead to a number of smaller wars. In the 1970s, the United States and the Soviet Union signed agreements to limit the number of nuclear weapons that they each had. Communist rule ended in many countries, bringing an end to the Cold War. This week's Eagle Recognition winners. First, we have Braxton Elsass for service-minded, acceptance, and respect from Mr. Simmons.
Next, we have Cooper Hensel for service-minded by Miss Savage.
Next, we have Keegan Matthews for ownership from Mrs. Phelps.
Next, we have Priyanka Kolkar for service-minded by Mr. 2.
Next, we have Chase Schwade by Service Minded from Mrs. Jurger.
Next, we have Daphne Tile for service-mindedness and respect for Mrs. Burkall.
Next, we have Elena Dilly for respect from Mrs. Stishok.
Now we have Jillian Fabre for service-minded by Miss Wright.
Anna Sebastian for ownership from Mrs. Phelps.
And finally, Juliana Lara for acceptance and respect by Miss. Inspirational quote of the day. What lies behind you and what lies in front of you pales in comparison to what lies inside of you. By Ralph Waldo Emerson. I think this means life is a journey, but let's not get lost in travel. Instead, you must focus on what is within you. The journey of life will change you and unlock what is inside of you. As you evolve during this journey, you will have to be sure that all the changes you are making are positive. Don't allow missteps in this journey to be permanent.
Next up is Eagle Recognition Awards. If you hear your name, please go to the office and see Mrs. Moses to claim your prize.
Well, that's the Eagle News for today. If you have a story you would like to be featured on the Eagle News, please let Mr. McNeil know. Here at Eversole, we are creating a community of excellence by being positive, working hard, and respecting the uniqueness of ourselves and each other. Have an amazing day.